So this app is for iPad, and if you hear like any clicking or pen noises, that's my Apple Pencil tapping against the screen. So RIP headphone users, you might want to take those out. But just a few things. So here's Procreate. When I bought it, it was about $10. It may have gone up in price, but it's a one-time fee, and I highly recommend it. And you just start in the gallery, and you can see here I've been using this, I don't know, for maybe 4 years already, and I use it for interior design. You know, I planned out apartment units in a city or in a building in Salt Lake. I designed a cover-up. This isn't for me, but a cover-up tattoo for someone. I don't even know if they got it. I personally don't like it, but that's their taste. If you remember this, I drew this on here. That was me from our assignment. And let me show you for my wife's work. I made them a quick logo for some cancer registry thing. I do my finished floor plans in here. This is just a quick example. Carpet layouts. I'm just giving you a little quick tour because I think this is interesting. I do like even handouts for a conference I went to. I presented on disability and design, and I do a lot of my stickers. You've seen that if you've seen my portfolio. But yeah, you can see how this is pretty similar to Photoshop and what we're doing. I'm just going to give you the quick rundown. So I highly recommend that you get an iPad and use this just for your own well-being. You don't necessarily need to do it for the course, but I just want to show you how cool this is. Look at these little sketches I do. And my students, one of them, I had a student that said, whenever I sit down, I sit like a question mark when I play on my iPad and do these, which is true. But you can see I just designed like a whole little unit here and did elevations and 3Ds. And it's a lot easier than Photoshop, probably about 10 times easier. But this was for a neon sign design that featured a Nicki Minaj quote. It was for like a predominantly female demographic apartment building. And you can see here, I had like all of these cool floor plans and bathroom elevations and different ideas going on. So let me see, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So I did some drawings for Mike Vrabel. I think I may have told you guys this already. But he's an NFL coach, and I did some artwork for him on Procreate. And these are all in his house. Procreate might crash because these files are enormous. But you can see here, this is the petting zoo he took his kids to. Yeah, the files are pretty large. That's their favorite restaurant. So I just drew these for them. And he was an awesome client. I really liked drawing for him. Okay, so I just want to show you kind of the basics here. So I had that student's logo in there, but I think I might go a little rogue and try something else. So I'm just going to show you what's up. So this right here, and you'll have to pay attention to where I'm clicking. I don't think it'll show you, but so just look closely, is that layer tab up there that I just made blue. That's how you create layers and groups. So I'm just going to minimize that group, and I'm going to just add a ton of layers. If I slide left, I get these options right here. And I can also make it visible and not visible. And if you remember from my Photoshop students, here, this is what we call, in bonus points if you get this, it's called our blending mode. We did this on our Kodak project, and this is something you should be familiar with. But it just changes the interface of how it interacts with the color, texture, or surface above or below it. And I just want to give you a quick refresher on that. Let me go to my group up here, and I'm just going to move my little background color on top, and then for opacity, you just use 2 fingers, put them together, kind of like you know in the Hunger Games how they do the 3 fingers and they go do 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 do. Same thing, but 2 fingers, and then just click on that layer, and then you can slide left and right. So I'm going to slide that. Okay, and I'm just going to. Do you see that? It just changes it ever so slightly. All right, so I'm going to try to keep this real short because there's almost nothing to this program, which is its strength. So I'm going to delete those, and I'm going to show you a few other things. So this isn't my first time around the block teaching this, and this is my favorite thing to teach. I really should include more content in the courses, but I just want to show you a few things. So our wrench right here, this is where you can save an image. They call it share, but do you see PSD? That is our Photoshop file. So that means that this bad boy right here, all these layers translate flawlessly into Photoshop. So remember that you're always welcome to use this as an additional tool. Here, my canvas, I can change different orientations of it, sizes, etc. And I can also add a little drawing board if I want. And then if I want straight lines, this is super important for us interior designers, because if you saw, I was doing a bunch of floor plans that had right angles. So you just flip on that drawing guide, go up to your layers, create a new layer, click once, and do Draw Assist. And that Draw Assist will make sure, so click on your brush, that you draw up and down and left and right perfectly straight. Okay, so like you can see, I can start to draw a floor plan. See, there's a window. Okay, that's kind of a thick wall, but we'll just do like a couch there. Couch is in the wrong direction, but you get it. And there's a little coffee table. And then just turn that off. You just go here and click Drawing Assist. Okay, and then let's just go back to the wrench a little bit. Share, that's just saving files. And then you can add images, insert a photo. So let's do that real quick. I was working on some artwork, a portrait of myself. I teach art at Weber State, so that's why you're seeing that stuff. But let's just put in like a concrete texture. Okay, do you see how cool that is? And I like it because I can just hold it in my hands and I can just lay back on the couch and work on this. And I don't have to lug around a huge laptop. So here, let's just work on a few things. So I feel confident with what I taught you on the wrench. That's really the basics. And then here is our little magic wand. This is for adjustments. And a lot of you, how do I put this? Like nicely. If you're my student, you actually know what an adjustment is, because we've been working so hard on adjustments all semester that adjustments are like, oh, an adjustment. No, it's like hue, saturation, brightness, contrast. Like it is a very complex thing in Photoshop. So if you know, you know, and that's what that's from. So that's for my 1250 homies. If you know, you know. And then here, this is for magic wand selection. What I do is I just erase the portions I don't want, and I find that more successful. And just a few other things. So this program, like I said, its strength is really simplicity. And really kind of the last component, I want to show you the blur tool. No one uses that, by the way. That's this. But the brush tool, I have tons of brushes here, and I can just go forth and use those. I have my brush tools here, and I can just dig through and find something I like. There's literally something for everyone, and you can change the color here. Okay, and the last important thing I want to show you is that you can change, let's just find a better pen here, the thickness here. Okay, and if I push, you can see it changes the fluidity or thickness of the line. And then down below that changes the opacity of the line. So that's one crucial thing. And then here, this is super important, so make sure to absorb this. If you aren't happy with the settings of your brush, click once and then click again. And then stabilization is your best friend. You see here, it is more smooth and even smoother, okay? And then super jaggedy. So make sure to play around with that. And then your pressure too, you can change that if you don't want to turn pressure off. A lot of people don't like that. I personally don't. I think it looks a little weird. So that's kind of the basics. You can see here I drew kind of that student's logo, a little mock-up. I filmed it earlier. Unfortunately, didn't save. My iPad crashed because I have too many files on here. But what I did essentially is I just imported an image. You can see here, and I opacitized it, and I drew over it and traced it. And I just did that going up to the wrench, add, okay, and then insert a photo. And let's, like, I could even do tile or something, and I could use that in my background. And let's say I want to turn off my grid, I can just go to Canvas and turn off Drawing Assist. Okay, so there's one thing I want to show you that I think will pique your interest as interior designers. So I love to use Procreate for interior design just because it's so easy to use. And you can see here I've done mock-ups for some wall graphics. Here's some more mock-ups I've done too, some art installations, and then there's one I want to show you that is pretty rad. You can see here I need to organize these files, but this is something I use literally every day, so I'd highly encourage you to get an iPad. If you work at a larger firm, they might be able to supply it, or I would hope they would. That would be very nice of them. But if I can't find it, that's okay. But I have some pretty mean sketches I've done in here of interiors that I thought were just a home run. Let me see if they're in here. There's some like 3D images. Yeah, like that's pretty rad. I did that interior. This one's not bad either, but I just do them on my silly little sketch on my little iPad, and it blows everyone's mind. Oh, you drew that? I'm like, I guess I did. But yeah, I use this program a lot and highly recommend it. So that was just an incredibly brief introduction. If you have any more questions, let me know. But that is just kind of the beginning of it. Have fun with it. Like I said, not required, but just helpful. If you like to kind of draw and do these things, it can be a super good time. Okay, just shoot me a message on Canvas inbox if you need anything. I'm happy to jump on a Zoom call and just walk you through anything you may need.